Welcome to Friendeavor, the podcast, the weekly podcast where we explore the highs and lows of friendship with your hosts, Danielle and Kayla.
As we journey through life, our friendships often evolve and change, ebb and flow, and sometimes even come to an end. Danielle and I are lifelong advocates for the power of friendship, and we are here to guide all of us through the many challenges and joys that come with building and maintaining strong, meaningful connections with those around us.
Join us each week as we deep dive into the intricacies of friendship, from navigating conflicts to fostering new relationships and everything in between. With insightful interviews, personal anecdotes, and expert advice, Friendeavor is the perfect podcast for anyone looking to strengthen their bonds with the people they love.
So, whether you are on the go, taking care of chores, or just settling in, get ready to explore the world of friendship on Friendeavor, the podcast.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Friendeavor. I'm your host, Danielle. After a brief sabbatical, we are back at it again. No Limits has come and gone, and as we told you at the beginning of the year, our schedule is going to be a little bit different going forward, so we took a little bit of a break, and I'm excited to get back into it. This week, we are talking about the art of gift giving. What does it look like? What does it mean? When is it appropriate? How do you respond? All those things. You know us, we're going to cover every square inch of this topic. Before we get started on the gift giving topic, I wanted to plug something really quickly. My parents have a nonprofit called Preserving the Christian Family, and my mom, who is a licensed marriage and family therapist, is starting a book club focusing on like wellness, mental health books, spirituality, that kind of stuff, development. And it is totally free. And their first book is going to be 13 things mentally strong people don't do. And if you are interested in being a part and connecting with other people and engaging in this journey, you can email preservingthechristianfamily@gmail.com for all the information and get a link to be a part of that. So if that's something you're interested in, check that out. Alrighty, let's talk about gift giving. I actually wanted to have a series of good gift givers on as like mini interviews, but I didn't want to put them on the spot, and I didn't want them to give away their secrets and that kind of stuff. So I'm just going to take my background knowledge, my expertise, what I've observed from people who give good gifts, because spoiler alert, it's not all about the money. It's not all about how much you spend. And we're going to dive into it. So first and foremost, the heart of gift giving. Why does gifts matter? There are some people who their love language is gift giving or gift receiving. And it's more than that, because gifts can express care and thoughtfulness, often saying things that words can't. They symbolize like effort and love and attention. It shows that someone was thinking of you. And it can show attention to detail. Hey, I got you this candle because I thought of you. I knew that you would like this candle, and so I got it for you. It doesn't just have to be surprise gifts, of course, but for that context, it just the gift of being thought of. And right from the outset, I want to say that the thoughtfulness matters so much more than the expense. Okay, a thoughtful gift demonstrates emotional investment, if you will, the consideration, showing that you value the relationship. Not necessarily you have to go the homemade, handmade route. You could do that, and that would be meaningful. But just knowing that you're giving someone a gift that they are going to appreciate because you thought of them. If you buy gifts and put the price tag on it just because you think, oh, the more expensive it is, the better it is. Not necessarily. You could be getting somebody the most lavish thing in the world, and they think it's ugly, or they think it's over the top, or they think it's not useful. And hopefully most people would be grateful receiving any gift. But my point is that the costly array, so to speak, does not have to be the tip, the pinnacle of what gift giving should be. Sometimes that handmade, homemade aspect is more meaningful than a costly, generic present. When it comes to gift giving, understanding your friends is so important. And that's where like the years of friendship help you learn about them. So I laugh because when me and my friend group were starting to, developing our friendships in the early years, I had no idea what to get for them. And in fact, in the early years, I only bought for Lydia and Kara only bought for Abby, and vice versa. And then as we turned into a friend group, instead of just two sets of sisters that happen to be friends, with each other's sibling, we expanded and learned more about each other and grew and ended up getting more gifts. But in those early years, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to get them. We didn't have a lot of money. We were in our teenage years. And so I remember one year, it was Lydia's birthday. And actually, this episode is coming out a week before her birthday. So early shout out to her there. But I went to Hobby Lobby and I'm like, what do I do? What do I get her? I have no idea. And I ended up finding this box. It was like a little polished wooden box. I'm probably a jewelry box. I don't know. It was empty on the inside. And I don't know. I got it. And then I went to a Walgreens and I printed out like 20 photos of us. And I put it in the box. And that was her gift. And I was kind of embarrassed, honestly, when I gave it to her, because I was like, oh man, it's like sentimental, but we're still new in our friendship, and it didn't cost me that much money. I didn't have that much money. And what if she was like, this is a box? Obviously she wouldn't say that, but what if she thought it and that kind of thing? Just being your classic teenage insecurity. That box is still on her nightstand to this day, or on her headboard. And every time I'm over there, I see it and the memories come back. And while it wasn't the most costly gift, I was racking my brain trying to find something that would be a good gift. And it's debatable whether that was a good gift or not, but the fact that she still accepted it, loved it, received it, and has it still displayed in her room. I don't know if the photos are still inside, but I know that it's close to her at all times. So understanding what they want, what they love, what they would appreciate is part of just being thoughtful in the process. All right, let's talk some strategies for effective gift giving. One thing that I keep on my phone year round is a locked note. Now you might be thinking, Danielle, why is your note locked? Because I don't want anybody snooping on my phone. They don't do that, but it's, that classic paranoia. They're going to find out what I'm getting them. Anyways, as the year goes on, I think of something, they mention something, I write it down. I keep a note of ideas that I have. I try to keep hobbies or preferences or wish list items, just to make that process easier when a birthday or a graduation or the year end comes. Last Christmas, so just a few months ago, actually right before that, I was at, again, my friend Lydia's house, and her mom has this giant metal bowl, just a mixing bowl. And I love to cook, and I love being in the kitchen, and I cook all the time. And I have a large metal bowl, but this one was even bigger. I was like, oh, I really need one of those. Roll around to our friend's miss, like 3 weeks later, I get a box the size of, I don't even know, like a small recliner. Like, it was huge. It was a huge box. It wasn't quite that big. It was like, I can't think of something to compare it to. It was probably about 2 feet by 2.5 feet or 3 feet. Like, it was a big box. And I'm like, what on earth could be in this giant box? Maybe it's like one of those box inside of a box inside of a box. No, I opened it up and it was the largest bowl I have ever seen in my entire life. It was huge. It was a catering bowl. And you know what? She remembered it. She remembered that I wanted that. She's like, that was the one I could find. I know it's not the same size as my mom's. And we all had a good laugh about it. But you know what? It was extremely thoughtful. And I am very grateful because I'm going to be putting that sucker to use when it comes party time. But she heard me. She made a note of it. She's like, I'm getting her a bowl. I know that she wants a bowl. And I did. And I love it. And we have to store it in the garage because it's so big. But you know what? It is extremely thoughtful and it will be extremely useful. So a gift that is personalized to the person shows that you've paid attention to who they are, what they like, what they value. It aligns with their personality and interests. And it gives them like that tailored experience. If she gave a bowl the size of Texas to Kara would be like, thank you. But what is Kara going to do with the bowl that size? She didn't get that bowl for Kara. She got it for me. She heard me say that I want one, and she knows that I like to cook. So it was a personalized gift to me. It also was a creative alternative. You know, I have kind of gotten to a rut a little bit of getting Lydia purses a lot over the year. I know that she likes a cool purse. And so I have probably gotten her at least 5 or 6 purses over the course of our friendship. And so I try to break out of that mold to give her other stuff too. But I know that's what she likes, and they can be creative, but it's also something that's catered to her. I don't get Abby a purse every year. I don't get Lydia a purse every year either, but it's when I'm trying to think of stuff to get her, that is definitely toward the top of my list because I know that it's something that she likes and will put in her rotation. All right. Let's talk about setting boundaries. Not overextending yourself, because in gift giving, especially with the people that you love, 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 that just make your life so special and makes your life everything that is joyous and wonderful, you want to give them the world. You want to return everything that they've given to you and channel it through a gift. That can lead to some long-term problems. Not just like you can't match yourself year to year, but you might be hurting yourself financially. So like budgeting is very important. Overspending can lead to financial stress, and it ultimately detracts from the joy of giving. I know that as I've gotten older, the look on people's faces when I've absolutely nailed their gift, I love it. I like relish it so much. But if I I spent like way too much money on it, I'd be like, I'm so glad you like it. I'm gonna pay that off. So being smart with your own finances is not only just being a good steward, but it helps to support the continuation of the joy of giving gifts. And then you don't have resentment. What if they don't use it quite as often as you thought they would? Well, I spent so much money on it. There should be no strings attached when you're giving a gift. You shouldn't expect people to act some type of way as a result. Like if you're giving a gift, you're giving the gift. You are freely giving it. You don't expect anything in return. That is going to cause communication, unmet expectations, and it's just going to be a bad, bad deal. When it comes to setting expectations, have conversations about gift giving. That's why a lot of white elephant gifts and that kind of stuff have price limits, or they say only homemade stuff. Then you don't have that pressure of matching or making sure, like, because some people do have the means. Some people absolutely have means to do lavish gifts. If you don't do it. Don't try to match someone else's gifting. Like, if they're truly your friend, they know that you cannot meet that same price range. If someone gives you a $500 item for Christmas, you shouldn't be skimping on other people's gifts to try to match that. I think of, you guys hear us talk about Odyssey a lot on here, but in the episode of Christmas Conundrum, they're very good episode. 10 out of 10 would recommend, even if you're not an Odyssey fan. The 4 friends at Wits End, Whit, Connie, Eugene, and Tom are doing a gift exchange before they go out of town for the holidays. And Whit is getting Connie a car, but she thinks that Eugene is getting it, which makes Eugene think that he needs to get something lavish for Connie, because he thinks, but then it ends up being Tom, and it's just a whole thing. Okay, so everyone gets an expensive gift, but it's all from the wrong person because they thought they had to match each other. So when you have those expectations, or when you're trying to read too much into it, you end up skimping on other people. So because Connie thinks that Eugene is getting him the car, because she thinks that Eugene is getting her the car, she gets him this crazy expensive stereo. And then she returns the very expensive watch she was getting Whit and got him a on clearance cheese basket. So obviously that's a fictional example, but the application still stands that don't just skimp on other people's gifts to try to match someone else's, because in the long run, it's just not going to really do anything, and you're going to end up having guilt or comparison. The pressure to match each other's generosity just makes it feel competitive. And it totally removes the whole beauty of gift giving. So focus on your own heart, your own thoughtfulness behind the gift to kind of just resist that unhealthy dynamic, as it were. Now, there is an art to accepting gifts as well. Okay. A story that kind of bridges the last topic and this topic, so setting boundaries / the art of accepting, is when we first started celebrating Galentine's as a friend group. It was a few years into our friendship. I don't know. It was probably 2017. I don't know. I don't remember when it was. I think we always kind of like did it, but it wasn't a big deal. We get to the restaurant and Kara and Abby, I think Lydia was out of town or something. Kara and Abby come with these fat gifts. I mean, thoughtful, cutesy gifts. Oh, you know what? It was our first one, so Lydia was in town because when she was out of town, I made up for it. But I was like, are you kidding me? None of us talked about giving gifts. I had no idea that was on the table. I didn't even think about that. That was not something that we had ever done before, and I was not expecting it. So those three come with these beautiful, thoughtful, cutesy, girly Galentine's gifts. And I'm like, just over there shoveling my steak into my mouth thinking, oh my word, I am a clown. I didn't get them anything. So I had to balance this embarrassment of not getting gifts with the gratitude of receiving a gift. So why is it hard to receive gifts sometimes? Well, many people feel unworthy of the attention or worry that they can't reciprocate. So when I got that gift from Kara and I got that gift from Abby and Lydia, I was like, I literally don't have anything for you right now. And so I felt bad. But accepting a gift gracefully can challenge those feelings of inadequacy. You know what? I do deserve a gift, and I am so, so grateful for these people for thinking of me, for considering me, and looking at it as an act of love. Letting someone give you a gift allows them to express their care for you. When you give someone an offering in church and they're like, no, I can't accept this, you say, don't rob me of my blessing, right? That's what people say. Don't take away my blessing because I'm blessed to be a blessing. So accepting that gift, accepting it is an act of kindness. And it's 100% acceptable to receive that gift warmly and gratefully and not in any way like, yeah, I knew you'd give me a gift. Like nothing like that. That's not how to accept a gift. You can also respond authentically to misaligned gifts. So even if something that's not your style or not your preference, or, and I don't want to get too deeply into this, but sometimes people can give you gifts and it seems very inauthentic, like they're only giving it to you as like a passive aggressive way. I say, whether you got a gift in that manner or if it's just like an ugly gift or something like that, like you sincerely thank them and acknowledge the thought behind the gift, even if it's not what it's supposed to be. Like I don't think that you should ever tell your friend, oh, I don't like that gift. Even if you're the bosom buddies, like why would you do that? Why would you tell someone that you don't appreciate their gift? I don't understand that. Like I know somebody, or I should say I knew somebody, it's been a long time, when they're like, oh, I would like this, but I would like it better if it was, like, what kind of power trip is that? Be so sincerely thankful and grateful and express all the gratitude for them thinking of you. Even those people in those rare occasions that they give you a gift in which you might think, why are they doing this for me? What makes you think that I need that kind of gift? Even if it is somewhat passive aggressive, you can kill them with kindness. You guys know I'm a big proponent of that. There are awkward situations in gift giving sometimes. Like we talked about the uneven expectations. When I was in middle school, a girl gave me, I can't remember what it was. She gave me something for Christmas. It was the day before our winter break. She just walked up to me and gave me a gift. We were friends, but I had no idea she was going to do that. And then later on she goes, so what did you get me? She asked me that. I was in 6th grade. And when she gave it to me, I was like so touched. And I was like, oh, that is so thoughtful for you gave me a gift. Like, thank you so much. And then later on, what did you get me? And I said, well, I'm going to have to give it to you later because I don't have it with me right now. And I was like, I had no intention of giving her a gift. I had no idea that that was an expectation. Again, we were in 6th grade. We were 12. But I went home and told my mom, I was like, why did she do that? She's like, well, I have no idea, but you don't have to worry about getting her anything. I gave her family a popcorn tin, and I was like, thanks, Karen, you a real one. But there was an uneven expectation, and again, we were 12, but that kind of stuff can even happen in adult life as well. So focus on the gratitude rather than comparison. If someone gives you a really expensive gift and you didn't match that, just focus on the gesture, the comparison, the reason for giving. If it was a birthday, if it was you wouldn't do an exchange at a birthday, but if it was Christmas or what have you, focus on the reason for the gift. When it comes to handling obligatory gifts, so a going away party or a leaving your job party, whatever, that is when the all-powerful candle comes into play. Just general, widely accepted gifts. SNL is not the most wholesome thing, but there is one sketch that is one of the funniest things of all time, and it's called The Christmas Candle. And it tells the story of candles being exchanged all over the world, that same candle that just gets passed from woman to woman. And I literally cried laughing the first time I saw it. So again, not wholesome, not recommending you to watch SNL, of course, but that is hilarious. So anyways, candles, chocolates. I wouldn't go with like body spray and stuff because I didn't know this until I was like 18, but apparently that can be viewed as like, are you saying that I stink? I'm like, no, I'm just trying to pamper you and make you smell nice. Why are you going to be weird about it? Anyways, that's just what I'd go with. Another thing that I don't love is the concept of no gifts please for a birthday. Like, I know when people say that they genuinely don't want gifts, but you can't have a birthday celebration and not expect me to bring a gift. And then that puts other people who took it at face value, like, oh, they really don't want gifts. Now they feel bad because everyone else brought a gift or some people brought a gift. I would say that do your best to respect that request, although I really struggle with that because I'm going to get you a gift. You know what I mean? Like, it's your birthday, even if it's something small. But then that can cause awkwardness for other people and yada, yada. You know the drill. So just if you truly, truly do not want gifts, probably shouldn't be celebrating with a bunch of people. Have a small group, whatever. But don't get grumpy or mad or whatever if people bring you gifts. And if you're one of those people who did not bring a gift, rest on the fact that you followed the instructions where me and other people did not. There are other types of gifts that go beyond material things. They can be extremely impactful, like gifts like time, help, support. They often meet like the deeper emotional or even practical needs that help to build that trust and connection and make you feel truly recognized. So a friend might treasure a day spent together more than any wrapped item. Maybe their preferred love language is quality time. Well, you don't really need to get them a gift basket of goodies if they really just want to spend time with you. Some examples of non-material gifts, you like cooking a meal for someone. I love doing this. I love cooking. Cooking is not technically a love language, but acts of service is. So I love to make people feel loved through what I create. Offering your skills, helping with a project, babysitting, being there for them. And these gifts, they can leave a legacy. They can leave an impact because material things come and go. But that memory of what you did for them is going to last much longer than any material gift ever could. Back when Friendeavor started, I did the friendship survey. And if you've not taken that, if you're new to Friendeavor, it's in our Instagram bio. And I love collecting the data over time. So please, if you have time, go take a look at that. It only takes about 5 minutes to complete. And it's really important and it helps to shape how I present information to you guys and that kind of thing. So if you have time, please take a look at that. But one of the questions I asked about was gift giving, the financial aspects of gift giving. So I asked 2 questions just so you can kind of get an idea of what other people think. So 210 people responded to this at my last pull of the data. So it could be slightly different. It's going to be overarchingly the same because I don't think that many people have taken the survey since I pulled this data, but the question is, how much money do you spend on average on a friend's birthday or Christmas gift? So we're talking special event, birthday, Christmas gift, maybe graduation gift, specifically a special occasion. maybe their wedding, etc. We've got 32% of people who spend $21 to $30. We have 26% of people who spend $31 to $50. 16% who spend $51 to $100. So the average person's going to spend somewhere between $20 and $100 on a special gift. Okay. This much smaller percentage is going to spend $0 to $10 or over $100. So your average is going to be about 70% of people, thereabouts, give or take, give somewhere between $20 to $100, mostly being around the $50 mark. How much money do you spend on average on a just because gift for a friend? That was the second question. The overarching 38%, so over a third of people spend $11 to $20 on a just because gift. So maybe you're giving them a gift card to a coffee shop, you are walking through the store and you see, oh, so-and-so would love this. So you pick it up and buy it for them as a thoughtful gesture. About a third of people are going to spend somewhere between $11 to $20. 20 people said $21 to $30. 25, so a quarter of people said $0 to $10. So over 75% of people are spending less than $30 on a just because gift. Do with that as you will. I personally, when I was working part-time and didn't have a ton of money, my budget for Christmas was around $40. I tried to get people gifts, not $40 total, $40 a person. And then as I got a job, I bumped it up and it's more now. But I think that like the expectation is don't break yourself, don't break the bank, and be a good steward with your money. One other thing I want to tack on about gift giving before I close out is buying meals for other people. My dad is a big buy a meal for a person kind of guy. Like, he can hardly go to a restaurant without picking up the tab for somebody as a gesture of love and gratitude. It's not like, oh, I got this because I got the money. It's like, hey, I want to do this for you. I mean, if we go to a restaurant and someone's there that we know, he will a lot of times pick up the bill. Okay, so I have learned that a lot as I've gotten older. Like, that's part of the way I show love too, is like sometimes I'll pick up the tab. We told that story about how me and my friends were going to Crepeville one time, and I didn't want them to argue with me about it, especially in front of the waitress. So I was like, guys, I'm getting this tonight. I want to, again, blessed to be a blessing. Don't take my blessing. And then we get there and I realized I forgot my wallet. So that was embarrassing, and they had to pay for me instead. Oh, I still laugh about that. Anyways, my point is that if you're one of those people who feel that way and you find yourself picking up the tab from time to time and you don't feel like that's reciprocated, that can be kind of tough. Because it's like, I've spent, again, it's not about the money, but it's like, you think that I spent all this money on you, so you'd want to spend on me. I always get the coffee or whatever. And I've had to do this to myself. People don't think that way. I would say the majority of people think everyone takes care of themselves, right? Even people who might be a little bit more well off or whatever. It's just kind of like a very middle class culture. Like, everyone takes care of themselves, and you cannot get offended and you cannot get hurt over like, oh, I've gotten this. I bought appetizers for the table. I bought this. I whatever. And no one's ever done that. They're just so selfish. No, you have to consider it as you are doing something nice. It is not about it being reciprocated. If you truly are doing it from a place of being nice, do it. And if you get to a point where you're like, I can't do this anymore, or I'm not feeling loved or whatever, then just don't do it as much, or take a break. And you cannot let unmet expectations ruin a friendship, especially when you didn't communicate them. And that's not one that I would communicate. I wouldn't say, guys, I wish you would pick up the tab. No, that's not what it is. If they don't get it, if they don't understand that that's something that's important to you, you got to leave it alone. And if you're truly doing it as an act of appreciation and love, then you can't be mad like when someone else doesn't do it for you. Okay. And then also you have to consider that some people feel very awkward when you pay for them. So I invited Abby out to lunch the other day, And I told her in the line, I was like, listen, I am buying your lunch. She already had her card out. I was like, and we were at Chipotle. So we're like in the salsa area. So not quite to the register, but not at the front. And I said, I am not arguing with you about this right now. Put your card away and let's not fight in front of the nice lady. And she's like, no, I'm buying my food. So when we got up to the register, I just very gently / forcefully shoved her over out of the way. But, and Abby knows me, and obviously we're really good friends. But if it was someone who was not, they could be like, oh, this is so awkward. They're buying my food. So take that into consideration. If someone's going to feel embarrassed that you've done that for them, don't also put them in that place just to make yourself feel good or even though you think you're showing love. Okay. Am I making sense? I hope so. That last segment rambled for a while, but I hope you got my drift. Thank you so much for stopping by Friendeavor this week. We are navigating this new schedule. I am trying to do these things and do these things and do these things. And you know what? I have to make time to do this thing because I love this. And thank you so much for listening week after week. Don't forget book club, email preservingthechristianfamily@gmail.com if you want to be a part. I think it's going to be a fantastic time. I think you're going to learn a lot. I think you'll meet new people. And if you're interested, shoot an email to that email address. Or if you need more information, you can email us at friendeavorpodcast@gmail.com. We look forward to seeing you through the rest of season 2. Questions, comments, concerns, reach out. We love you. Have a fantastic rest of your week. Thank you so much for listening to this week's episode of Friendeavor the podcast. Don't forget to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. And if you enjoyed today's content, leave a review and share with a friend. You can find the show notes on our website, www.friendeavor.net, and in the description of this episode.
Friendship is a journey. It's an endeavor. We'll see you next time on Friendeavor.